welcome to UC Today. My name is Christopher Carey and today I'm joined by Cortney Harding, founder at Spatial Computing Consultancy, friends with Holograms. We're going to be discussing the future of smart glasses and what the latest developments mean for businesses and consumers alike. Cortney, thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So diving right into it, we've seen that Meta is going mass market and Snap, they're betting on immersive AR. Which strategy do you think is going to win?
Both. So, there's a strong consumer play to be had, and we've seen that with Meta. They've sold 9 million, almost 10 million units already, and they have new units coming to market very soon. Snap has a much higher end product. You see the price differential being pretty massive, but Snap also has a much bigger, I think, enterprise opportunity. So I think Snap will go sort of higher end, Meta will go more mass market, and I think there's room in this market for everyone who is right now in market and coming to market to be successful in different categories.
And from the enterprise side, which platform are your clients gravitating towards and why?
Well, right now, a lot of them are focusing on Meta because that's who's in market. A lot of them are now very interested in what Google is doing with XReal in particular. So Google has products that are coming to market this year and next, including the partnership with XReal called the Aura. That's going to be a fantastic product. Snap is something that a lot of people are interested in. They announced their new spectacles a couple of weeks ago now in June. And I think a lot of people are following what Snap is doing and very interested. Apple is always the wild card, seeing what they're going to announce hopefully in the next couple of years. And then you have all of the Chinese players. So you have Even Realities, you have Vitur, a lot of those companies, and then you have some smaller players. So it's a pretty wide range of players and of companies. It really is focused now on finding the solution for the problem these companies are trying to solve.
And one thing I've been seeing a lot in the last few months is the privacy argument. How are your clients reacting to that?
So the privacy in the workplace is a little different than privacy in consumer use, right? If it's a work device, which these devices would be for training, then the expectations for user privacy are different. Now, they clearly need to be spelled out and consented to, but if you think your work laptop has the same amount of privacy as your personal laptop, I have some news for you, right? So I think there are still concerns in the workplace when people wear these glasses as consumer devices into the workplace. And I think that's something that people are going to try to have to start solving pretty quickly here. Again, I will point out that it is very easy right now to take photos and record and take video of all sorts of things in the workplace that you shouldn't. So I don't know that the glasses are going to make that much of a difference when there's already existing rules about that in place. So yeah, it's definitely something that companies are going to have to solve and work on, but I don't think it's an insurmountable problem by any stretch of the imagination.
And what about in the US? Because I know that state by state there's different rules and regulations. Does that complicate things?
Not really, because I think people will just tend towards whatever the most conservative state is, right? So if you have a state where it's one party versus two party in terms of consent for recording, most companies will just default to whatever the most conservative one is. I also think that when we talk about recording, right, that's a little bit more niche in terms of what can be done with that recording. So that's generally seen in like a legal framework, where if I record somebody surreptitiously, I cannot then use it in a court case against them. But if I'm just using it to be a jerk, right, I shouldn't do that. That's kind of unethical, but it's not a legal issue. So I think when people talk about, oh, one party consent, two party consent to record, they tend to like push it a little bit further maybe than they should. Now, that's not to say there aren't important conversations we should be having about when it's okay to record people and what sort of consent you need. Meta just announced recently they are pushing an update to the glasses where if they can see that the little LED light, the recording light, has been tampered with, the glasses will basically get cut off. So that's an interesting use case. It's an interesting solution. But yeah, I think people are a little overly sensitive about the glasses now and maybe undersensitive about the amount of recording that's happening in the world, right? So people have smartphones, people have Ring cameras, CCTV cameras in the UK and in the US, right? So I think people get a little bit weird about the glasses, not fully understanding the amount of other recording that's happening in the world.
That's a good point. And just sticking with Meta, so we've seen that they have put conversation focus behind a $19.99 monthly subscription. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of people are doing, right? I mean, to use ChatGPT beyond a certain amount of tokens, you have to pay. The same with Claude, the same with pretty much all AI services. So I don't see that being something that Meta is unique to doing. Certainly, that's going to be a little challenging for them as things move forward. But I do think as the prices of tokens come down, that will change a little bit. So I think it's probably best that they're doing this now when the glasses are still kind of a niche product rather than doing it in a year or two when everyone's using the glasses. And then it really becomes an issue of like, how are you charging for these? Because the glasses themselves are a device, right? Right now they have to be connected to your smartphone, so there's an issue with that. But I think eventually as people move towards maybe just using the glasses, it's not that strange to think of, okay, you buy the device and then you pay a monthly fee to use it. That's what we do with our smartphones. That's what we do with a lot of things. So I don't think it's a huge issue, especially because it's not a huge amount of money that they're charging.
So you don't think it sets a dangerous precedent for enterprise buyers if they're evaluating AI wearables?
No, because I think they are conditioned to already pay for this stuff, right? This is a business use case. It's a business product. You pay for all of your business subscriptions. I think the challenge comes if they start really manipulating the pricing. And this is something we've seen with AI where companies sort of signed up not maybe fully understanding or fully appreciating how much it would cost. And now we're seeing a lot of companies walk it back and say, okay, now, for a while you had to token max is the term. And then now you're token gating. I know people that work in big enterprises right now and their bosses are sending them notes saying, you need to prioritize your token usage because we only have so much, versus a year ago or 6 months ago, they were just like, use AI for everything. So I don't think they're outside of what a lot of other providers are doing.
Just gonna ask, do you think that this is something that other companies are just going to latch onto and it's going to become just commonplace in the industry?
That remains to be seen. I think there's a lot of sort of outside factors that play into that. I also think for companies like Google or perhaps Apple, if and when they do come to market, that's something they can offer as a differentiator, right? So Google has been maybe more generous than other companies with Gemini because they have so many other resources, right? They're not a standalone company, right? Like a Perplexity or Anthropic or something like that. So yeah, I mean, that could be a really interesting differentiating factor. Or also everyone could just sort of say, yeah, we're all charging $20 a month to use the glasses on it for AI, and everyone just kind of agrees to that price and that becomes normalized.
And where do you see the general industry kind of evolving over the next 12 months?
Well, so what we have in the next couple of months is a flood of releases coming to market. So the Google audio-only glasses will be in market this fall. Meta's audio-only glasses are coming to market as well. So we're going to see those two pretty big entrants into the market. The XReal Aura is going to be released in the fall, so that's another huge entrant into the market, more so on the enterprise side or on the sort of higher end. The Snap spectacles are coming to market. That's again more enterprise, higher end. So we have a couple of really big releases coming in the next couple of months, and then going into 2027, we have sort of the full Google glasses coming to market. Meta, I imagine, is going to be releasing more and more new things. So we are starting to see a real sort of heating up of all the things coming to market. Not to mention, you have this huge number of Chinese players that are bigger in China than they are in the US, but they will probably be launching in the US or pushing more into the US. So I think we're going to just start seeing more and more competition, which is great because that'll drive more innovation and also lower prices, ideally.
Exciting times ahead, I think. Cortney, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please give us a like and a share on social media, and we'll see you next time. I've been Christopher Carey for UC Today. Thanks for watching.